Maseches Bava Metzia Daf and Daled Amud Aleph. Welcome to our Amud Yomi Shiur. People are in Avos Shalom B'Shemesh. Torah anytime in YouTube. Ein Daled Amud Aleph. Let's go. Omar Rove. We're talking here about Shlichus. Omar Rove. Shirley Nishmas Avimoyer Menachem Ben Akiva. Rus Bas Shalom Sol Bas Moshe. Omar Rove. Hani Beit Loso. There are three people. This is the case. The Avizuzi Lechad. They all gave their money for what to one person in order in order to buy them something. In other words, let's say that each one gave the person 10 shekels. Reuven, Shimon, and Levi gave Shlomiel, they gave him 10 shekels each in order that they should buy them 3 chocolate bars. Okay, 10. Yeah, each chocolate bar is 10 shekels. Let's say an expensive one, and each one gave 10 shekels to the guy to buy them something. Now he took the money of one of them, the 10 shekels of one of them, and he did not specify verbally he's only buying it for Reuven. He took Reuven's 10 shekels and he bought one chocolate bar. Yeah, out of the 3. So do we say that he only bought it for Reuven, or do we say that he bought it for all 3 of them and they should all get a third of a bar? Is he still the shliach of all 3, or is he now, because he's using the money of Reuven, did he now become Reuven shliach only? Did he stop the old common shlichus? Is shliach for one, or is he still shliach for all of them? Says the Gemara, Zoban lekulu. He bought it for everybody. Yeah, now everyone is the owner. Each one has a third in the one chocolate bar that he bought. Yeah, why is that? Because, so first of all, as I said, if he outright says, and this is a Ritva, Shulchan Aruch similarly says, if the person said, I am now only buying for Reuven, so now he shook off himself the shlichus of Shimon and Levi, is only the shlich of Reuven, and the chocolate bar belongs to Reuven only. But if he didn't specify it, just the mere fact he took the 10 shekels that Reuven happened to give him, is not stopping the shlichus of the other people. He is still working on behalf of all 3, and therefore the one chocolate bar that he bought will be divided by all 3 people. Ein Daled Amud Aleph, yeah, 74a. Okay, Metzia and Daled Amud Aleph. However, this is only true. That's only true that he maintains the shlichus of all 3 together when they originally, when they gave him the money, they did not put each one in his own bag, the money in his own bag, and chosim, and he sealed it, they closed it separately, hermetically separately. Then, if all monies were given together, Reuven, Shimon, and Levi each one threw into his hand 10 shekel, and each one said chocolate bar, chocolate bar, chocolate bar, then fine, we say it's a common shlichus, and he works on behalf of all of them, unless he really verbalizes otherwise. Aval tsar vechosim inish lechude. But if each one would actually, if each one gave him the money separately, each one in a separate bag alone, leman de zoban zoban, ulman de loy zoban. Then it's the other way around. Then if you took the bag, the separate envelope sealed of Reuven's money that's clearly belonging only to Reuven, yeah, then we say that he purchases for Reuven only and not for anybody else. Okay, why? Because ma'asev mochichim ma'asehem mochichim aleim, the fact that they actually are what they sealed each one separately shows that they're not shutfim, they don't trust each other, they're not working with each other. It's not common money, it's not corporate money. No, it's each one separately. And therefore, if he bought from Reuven, then he is actually buying for Reuven only without specifying anything. That's the chiddush. He didn't say anything. He didn't say, I'm working for Reuven. But if he took the money of Reuven that's in a separate bag, that itself shows that they had nothing to do with each other. So he bought for Reuven, from Reuven's money that is separate, automatically means he's only working for Reuven. The other ones, they don't get anything. Now, okay, that's case number 1. There's something I wanted to add. Maybe I'll remember later. Not now. About Poppy. Oh, this is exciting. I'm excited now. I don't know about you. I'm excited because now this coming short next few words are a very, very famous idea in Halacha, and this is a source of an extremely extensive idea that applies all over Chosh and Mishpat. It's a concept which we've learned many times, and this is the source right over here. Amar Papi Mishmei de Rove. Rav Papi says on behalf of Rove, I situmta kanya. What does situmta mean? Situmta, according to Rashi, means Rashi says situmta is when the people buy wine from the wine cellar, from the wine cellar in the wine cellar. Then what? They mark their names. They write down their names on the barrel. In other words, you are a wholesaler of wine, and I want to buy from you, and I didn't yet do Mashicha or Agbo. I didn't yet do any kinyan, right? If I did do any kinyan, then what? Then I want to know that this barrel is mine and not my friend's. So I push it to write my name. I engrave my name on the barrel, and my friend on his barrel. Was there a kinyan? Pashtus not. Why? Because there was no Mashicha, no Agbo, no Agav, no nothing, no kinyan that the Torah actually prescribes. Until later, very good. Until they will actually do Mashiach or Agbo or whatever. However, the Chiddush is that the Situmta is koine. Wow. The Situmta is koine. The Situmta, that action of writing on the Chavis, once it's written, that's called a kinyan. Now, the question is, what do we mean? Are we trying to actually invent a new kinyan that the Torah never spoke about? Or are we saying that this is just a verbal agreement amongst them? That's the norm by them, that this is how they're koine. Is that so? Frag the Gemara, Lamai Hilchasa, which means, how far do you go the concept that just writing the name on the Chavis is actually a kinyan? Do we invent a whole new kinyan? Depends. Rav Chaviva Amar, yes, Lemikniya Mamish. Rav Chaviva says yes. If it's normal by them that this is called the agreement, and the Rishonim said that Tchilas kinyan, you said very nicely, later on they'll finish off the kinyan by Mashicha, but writing is the beginning of the kinyan. If that's normal, that's called kinyan. If Reuven and Shimon argue, if I wrote down my name, can I still retract, can I still go back? No, it's a kinyan. That alone is decided to be a kinyan. Rabbanon Amri, Rabbanon say no, Likibuli alei mishapora. Rabbanon say no. Rabbanon argue on Rav Chaviva, and they say no. They say that if the name is written down, it's only the beginning of the kinyan. Beginning of the kinyan is not kinyan. What is the stage before kinyan? Remember? Mishapora. If I gave money to someone and we verbally decided, yes, tomorrow I'll come to your house and I'll buy your new car, I'll buy your new shoes, whatever, I'll buy from you, the table, the computer, and I put down the down payment. There was no kinyan yet. Can I regret? Yes or no? There's no kinyan. Yeah, you can't force me mamshin Beis Din. You can take me to Beis Din and they'll give me a very nasty curse. Bishapora. Bishapora medor mabul v'apologo. So Mishapora is like one stage before kinyan. If you go back from that stage, you get a curse. Lo leinu. So Rabbanan say that situmta doesn't have the koyach to become a kinyan. It's enough to show, if I wrote down my name, that's what's called in English, I marked my territory. You know, like animals do in the jungle, right? If the person marked his territory, that's good enough to say, I'm very, very serious about it, but it's not yet a kinyan. It's mishapora. If you regret, if you revoke that, it's mishapora. You get the klolo. However, behilchasa, what's and not the kinyan like of Chaviva. Behilchasa, what's aloche? Lekibuli alei mishapora. In other words, unless known that in that place this is a real kinyan, if people didn't specify, it's not like decided that this is our kinyan. The fact that they marked the name is just mishapara. It's not a kinyan. If there was no such decision. But if it's a place, I shouldn't say decided. It doesn't mean that they sat down in the area of that place and decided this is a kinyan. But if it's very, very clear, the minhag is that this is the very final stage, nobody does a Mashiach after that. If it's a place with the Mashiach done afterwards, then what? Then that stage is Mishapar, one stage before. But if it's a place where this is just a done deal, this is a done thing for the done deal to have writing down my name just does it to them for the kinyan, then it's a kinyan. You may even ask, what's the chiddush? Because you guys heard many, many, many times in this year that Choshen Mishpat is a very flexible concept, right? Very flexible part of Shulchan Aruch, and everything depends on minhag hamakam. Rabbi Isai, Mazel Tov, this is a source. This is a source. Dance and sing. We just saw the source of that, of a big yesod of Choshen Mishpat. What's the yesod? The yesod is that, says a Rashba here, B'Choshen Mishpat, minhag mevatel halacha. Halacha from the Torah tells you what? Shicha has a source in the Torah. Okonomiyad, v'chulei. Agav, there's a mukor in the Novi, in Divrei Yomim. B'she'enken, situmta, there's no source in the Torah. Here comes Halacha and tells you that people can do whatever they want. Why is it they can do whatever they want? You know why? There are a few explanations. Explanation number one is it's a condition. Yeah, I can tell you, listen, I'm making this very beautiful, shiny phone to you. Why? If you dance 3 times in front of me, don't worry, I'm not asking you to do that. Yeah, yeah. If you jump around 3 times, then what? I'll give it to you. It's my right, my money, my right to do whatever I want. I mean, up to a point. Same thing with the kinyan. It's like the t'nai. In other words, if we made a t'nai, I'm giving you my what? My chovis of wine, my barrel of wine. If you mark your name, that is a t'nai. And mimela, that's a kinyan. That's one explanation. The other explanations too, but I don't. Now, the Rosh, I want to add something from the Rosh. Very famous Rosh over here. The Rosh says that situmta is not only if they write it down in the barrel. Situmta also means that, let's say they decided that they give one tiny coin. They give a coin to who? To the person, the makne. That wine is worth 10,000 shekels. I give you 1 shekel. Symbolically, it shows that it's a done deal. That also works. And I'll ask you a question. What about kiyaskaf? Handshake. Is handshake a kinyan in halacha? Says the Rosh, yes, in a place where it's a minhag. If it's a known thing, and I think in the business world today there is such a concept, if I'm not mistaken, I think the diamond exchange or something, or some businessmen, once it was kiyaskaf, once they shook their hand, that shows that that's it. It's a done deal, no regrets, no hands, no regrets. Yeah, and therefore we say that that's the source. This is the source. These are all forms of situmta. Weiter. Oh, we said in the Mishnah, let's go back to explaining and understanding the Mishnah. We're now quoting the Mishnah. What does that mean? Let's revise the concepts which we've learned before. The concept is as follows. What happens if a person comes to you in Tishrei, when things are cheap, you have wine to sell, right? If you have wine to sell, and he's telling you, hey, now you're selling a barrel of wine for, I don't know, 2,000, let's stick to that price. Later on in Tevis, it will be worth 4,000, right? Is that I'll take it from you in Tevis, you keep the money, do whatever you want with it, take the money, and I'll come 4 months later, take a barrel that then will be worth 4,000 and keep the price of 2,000. Am I allowed to do that? Depends. You're allowed to do that in case of yesh loy. If the person has a barrel of wine in his possession, then it's considered as if the barrel of wine is already in my possession of the buyer, and it became expensive in my house. That's not called rivis. I already got it. Why? Because it's mishapoa. Although I gave money, there's no kinyan, there is mishapoa. So there is something that's binding over here. And therefore, if we say yesh loy, what's the other solution besides yesh loy? Yotza ashar. We're not talking now about Yotza Ashar. We're talking here about what? Yeshloi. Now, what did we say in the Mishnah? The Mishnah spoke about a case, I want to buy grains of wheat from you. When I say grains of wheat, what do I mean? Nice, clean, supreme grains of wheat. Yeah, I'm an Angel's Bakery. I want very, very nice wheat. I don't know if they buy wheat or flour or whatever. Probably flour. But Lamaisa, I want nice wheat. Now you are standing in your field with a heap of wheat, absolutely unclean, not yet selected, not yet mevurer, and already then at that stage, if you have that unready, that very primal stage of wheat, I can give you now the 10,000 shekels and say, hey, take the money of the wheat, and after you clean and deal with it, it will be worth much more. Give it to me for the old price. Why? Because yeshloi, although the early stage, we're in a very early stage in the life of the wheat, nevertheless, that's already considered to be yeshloi, even though it's still missing many stages until it becomes the product that I want it to become. You have to understand that concept. And we're going to see it again and again. Amarav, how far can you go from the finished product to the product that I have now? Yeah, when is it already called yesh loy that we can say it's only missing, a few touch-ups? Omarav, mechusar shtayim poisek, sholosh eino poisek, which means if between the stage where we are now until the stage of what I'm interested in buying, there are only two stages missing. There are two stages separating between now and the current stage and the desired stage. Then poisik. Then it's called yeshloi. Then I'm allowed to already get the product now. I mean, I'm not getting it yet. I'm allowed to pay for it now and get it later. It's called yeshloi. Sholosh eno poisek. However, if there are what? If there's sholosh, what's sholosh? Meaning, if it's missing, I know sholosh is three, but what do we mean here? If there are three stages missing, three stages that separate between where we are now and the desired product, then it's too far apart and it's not called yeshloi. That's called yeshloi. Somebody has, like people joke, I gave you a bar mitzvah present. Where is it? It's still in the store. They didn't start buying it. In other words, when it's so far apart, three stages away, then it's not called yeshloi. I have some dirt. We'll see later on. I have some dirt, and you want to buy for me a nice cheres, clay vase, and I have dirt. It's very, very far away. Says Rav, that's not called having it. It's not called that I have the product in my possession. Ushmuel Omar, however, Shmuel argues on Rav, and Shmuel says, Shmuel Omar bidei odom afilu mea poisik. Shmuel says bidei odom, when it's something, if those stages that are missing, that are separating between now and the desired product are bidei odom, are up to human beings, reaping, whatever, doing things that human being can do with his own body, then poisek, which means, yes, it's considered as if I have it. Why? I know I'm going to do it. Unless the person gets a heart attack or dies, or the person goes to jail, chas v'sholem, I don't know what he does, leaves the field alone and wins the lottery, the normal thing is, it's beyadov, excuse the pun, it's in his hands. That's what it means. And therefore, even though it's very far away from us, the final product that we're talking about, you can be poisek as if he already has it. But if it's something to bidei shomayim, let's say something that is up to bidei shomayim, let's say rain, let's say that the product will only happen if there's rain, if there's wind, if there's snow, something depends on the elements from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If it's bidei shamayim, even one stage away, you can't know that it's yours. How do you know that it's going to rain? How do you know it's going to be windy? How do you know you're a novi? Even in meteorology, I don't know how much they always know. In other words, you don't know. If it's bidei shamayim, you cannot, even if it's one stage away, you cannot treat it as if the product is already in your little pocket and you can already sell it without being in trouble of ribbis. Let's see now how the Mishnah works according to Rav and according to Shmuel. Let's have a little bit of a shiur here in agriculture. Now, what did we see in our very own Mishnah? We saw that a person can already sell what? He can sell you the Brooklyn Bridge. What's Brooklyn Bridge? I can sell you the wheat. I can sell you nice, shiny, well, peeled wheat. And where am I now in the stage? Godish. Godish is a heap of primitive kind of wheat, but it's not yet prepared, right? And it's already considered as if I already have the nice wheat. Right? The Gemara, how can you do that? Let's test now both Rav and Shmuel. Let's start with Rav. Right? The Gemara, it's missing a lot of stages. First of all, Mishda Bechama Le Meibash. First of all, if it's reap and still very moist, that's not good for wheat to be moist. In order to grind it, it has to be dry. You have to throw it in the sun, not throw it upstairs. You have to make it lie in the sun, the meibash, to dry out. You need it to dry out. That's stage number one. The sun's supposed to come and dry it out. That takes a few months. I think from ER till Av, Ula meidash. Then you have to, what's called in English, thresh it, which means that the animal with a machine, it steps all over the kernels, and then the kernel pops out of the chaff. That's number two. Umidra. Number three, there's another layer of chaff, a thinner one, that where you have to throw it in the air, what's called in English, winnowing. We know it because it's from Melechas Shabbos, right? Zoire. You have to throw it to the wind. Hopefully the wind will take away the chaff that is light, and the heavy wheat kernels are gonna boom go back down home to the floor. So wait a second, how many stages do we have? We have already 3 stages: the dry, to be threshed, yeah, the threshing, and the winnowing. Oh, that's 3 stages. How can Rav say that this is good? How could the Mishnah say it's good according to Rav? Rav says only 2 stages is okay, 2 stages away, but 3 stages away, that's too much. And says the Gemara, no. When the Mishnah said a pile, a heap of grains, how do you know that they were not dry? And we're only talking about one that's dried already. It's been already through the drying process in the sun, okay? And now all that it's missing are 2 stages: the threshing and the winnowing. Oh, that's called yeshloi. That's called already having it in my little pocket. That's called already not futuristic. That's called the present. And I can sell it now, and it's not ribis. Ula Shmuel. Wait a second. What about Shmuel? Shmuel didn't care about quantity, but quality. What did Shmuel say? Even if there's 1 stage away, but it's bidei shomayim, that stage depends on the weather and the elements of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Then says Shmuel that what? You can't sell it now. It's still too far away from you. If so, there's a problem. Well, the Shmuel doma bidei shomayim afilu achasen poisek. According to Shmuel, it says bidei shomayim even 1 stage away that's not good. The mechusar midra di bidei shomayim. Hey, to winnow, I guess, comes from the word wind. Yeah, in other words, to be zoyre and throw it in the air, that's bidei shamayim. Because in order to winnow, you need very strong wind. Ruach she'ena Metzia. The regular nice breeze is not going to do the job. You need very strong wind to throw it up there, and the strong wind, mamash like a tempest, takes it away, the chef. So it's up to bidei shamayim. So then you're not allowed to, sell it at this stage. How do you know it's going to come? And says the Gemara, Efsha benafvoso. No, naf. You had naf yesterday. Nafvoso. Nafvoso means because a person can use artificial wind, technology, modern technology, because the farmer can use the menafnef. He can use a fan. Yeah, Rashi uses the word, I guess in French, fan. Yeah, in other words, because the person can create wind, okay, and somehow go like this and make the chaff fly away and the kernel stay. Because there's that option, it's not bidei shamayim, it's bidei odom. And bidei odom, according to Shmuel, you can have 1,000 stages, you can have 100 stages away, and it's still considered as if it is in your own hands already. V'ala ovit shel anovim. Next case in the Mishnah. V'ala ovit shel anovim. What's ovit shel anovim? Ovit shel anovim is like a vat or a big receptacle. They would place the anovim. They would place the grapes in that big basket in order that they should warm up, become warmer, softer, and more, basically more flexible, that you can actually mush them, you can press them and make wine. Remember, what the person actually is buying is wine, not grapes. What's the problem? Obviously, both. Yeah, of course. That's the same issue all the time. In other words, again, it's now Tishrei. Now things are cheap, the beginning of the year. Now you have nice grapes that are about to become wine. And I'm telling you, I want your wine. I know you have great wine. When your wine will become expensive in Teves, you're going to sell it for, I don't know, 2,000 a bottle, like the fancy wines. I want now to get the current price. And if he has the grapes, it's considered as if he has wine. Oh, okay. So what did we say? Let's repeat. Let's review. Before we continue, what did Rav say? Rav said, if it's 3 stages away from the product that you are talking about, I'm talking wine. What I see in front of my eyes are grapes. If it's only missing 2 stages from where we are now to the future, then it's fine. If missing 3 stages, that's too far away. And what did Shmuel say? Shmuel said, no, doesn't depend on the amount, on the number of stages. It depends on it depends on what? Bidei shamayim or bidei odom. If it's the both, again, of course they are. Okay, whether it's shot, whatever the issue is, it does. Lemaisa now it's cheaper than later. We assume later it will be more expensive. Either it will be more developed, or even lo yotzar shar. Yesh lo is even without yotzar shar. It's not yet in the market, and that's what the Mishnah actually says. Oh, you rishon lekoitzim, pchila lekoitzim. He's the first one in town. Whoa, he's the first one in town that has the wheat or the wine. Nobody else says there is no stable rate yet. There is no stable rate yet, which means for sure it'll be more expensive later. This is pre-sale. This is literally pre-sale. Before there's any known prices, I'm giving you the cheap price, and later on you're going to get a very good finished product of a higher price, and you're getting it for the current price. So there would be ribis midrabanan unless we say that the wine is already here. When can you say the wine is already here? That's exactly the question between Rabbi Shmuel. Fine. Okay. Because there's no Yotzashar. No, they won't help. That's not what they want. He wants to get it for cheap. Mapitom. He wants it for the Tishrei price, not Davis price. That's all kunz. That's all idea of the buyer. He's not a friar. What? At the lower price. Yeah, then. Of course. Unless, obviously. No. Agrees? Who cares about agrees in Rebis? Rebis are both sides, Malva and Loiva. No. Lamaisa, eventually, I'll tell you what, let's go back to the basics. I'm glad you asked the question. Again, let's repeat the very basic before we continue. When I prepay, yeah, I'm really a malve. Because you as a businessman, yeah, your eyes, glitter when you see cash in front of you and you don't have to give anything in return until 3 months are over, 4 months are over. That's a form of halva. It's not a real halva because it's derech mekoch meg, it's like halva. And eventually I'll give you wine, which then will be worth 4,000 for the current price of Tishrei, or for the old price, which is 2,000 ribis. That's a problem here. That's a problem. Unless we say that those grapes that he already has are viewed as wine, right? And then I say, no, it's ki'ilu, he already got the wine of 2,000 in Tishrei, and it became 4,000 in the house of the buyer. Ki'ilu, the buyer already has it. Bidiyuk. 2 stages, says Rav, looks as if, we're almost there. It's ki'ilu, already have wine in my store. Everyone agrees that if I have real wine in my store, Tishrei, it's okay. The question is having grapes that are almost wine, that's the issue. But the Mishnah said that it is okay, that if those grapes are already cut, harvested, cleaned, whatever, and now they're in the vat and they're ready to be pressed, it's one stage before the press, that's good enough. The rest is just technicality. It's ki'ilu, already have wine in my store. Frag the Gemara, is that so? There are many more stages. Rav said maximum of 2. Frag the Gemara, v'mechusar, it's still missing michmal. It's about to be warmed up in that vat. It wasn't yet warmed. Michmal means warm. Nichmeru rachamov, yeah? In other words, it wasn't yet heated up. It wasn't yet warmed. It has to be taken to the wine press, to the actual press, to the gas. Lemeidash, yeah, in order to what? To meidash, to press it. That's stage number 2. Minhag, number 3, once the wine is already pressed and is liquidy, you have to make it, to channel it through the head like a canal, like a small channel to the big vat, to the big hole, yeah, of the front of the gut. So there are 3 stages. It has to get warm. It has to be pressed into wine, and then the wine has to flow. I guess it was like another malacha to make it flow into the big hole, into the vat, into the other vat. No, so it's missing 3 stages. Bad news. According to who it's bad news? Rav. Rav says 2 stages. Here there are 3. And it says the Gemara, Kedetani Rabbi Chia, ala kumar shel zeisim, just like Rabbi Chia said, kumar shel zeisim, meaning when we're going to see later about zeisim, the olives, we're going to see that those zeisim, what about them? The zeisim can be sold once they're already warm. Not that they're about to start the warm-up process, at the end of that process. Right? In other words, how many stages are we missing? So we're missing like this. We're missing now. The grapes are already warm. What do you have to do with them? You have to do them now 3 things. You need to now take them to Beima Tzarta. You need to take them to the wine press. You need to press them, actually. Yeah, you need to, again, let's repeat. Yeah, now they're warm up. They're very, very ready to be pressed. Beautiful. You have to take the van or the donkey or the truck, take them to the wine press. There you have to press them. And after they're pressed into wine, they're turned into wine, you have to put them in the what? In the hole. Oh, Frag the Gemara, excuse me. It's still 3 stages. That's too much, right? There was a trick over here. Yeah, it wasn't 4. It's still 3. So how come you're telling me that's good? According to Rav, You only need 2 stages between where we are now and later. It's still not good enough. And says the Gemara, the asa the zabin hu denogid. We're talking here about a place where the person who buys it, yeah, is not a mefunak. He's not it's not accepted that the one buying it is getting it nicely bottled or in a vat. The one who buys it is the one who moves it, who channels it, makes it flow from the wine press into the containing place, into the container. That's upon him to do that. So really, it's only things two stages. So let's repeat again. We're talking about what kind of stage? We're talking here about what? We're talking about the kumar shel zeisim, the zeisim or anovim in this case. They are warm already, ready to be pressed. It's missing 2 stages. Take those grapes into the wine press. 1. Action number 2: press them hard into wine. That's it. Once it's wine, then already it's the achrayus of the buyer to do all the rest. So it's really missing only 2 stages. Next, this is basically a copy and paste of before. Yeah, matan shel zeisim. Yeah. What about Shmuel, by the way? Yeah. What did Shmuel say? Shmuel says even 100 stages is okay. Even 100 stages is okay as long as it is bidei odom. So this is all bidei odom. I assume it's all bidei odom. However, that yeah. Okay. Tosis asks a question. Tosis asks a question on Shmuel. We said that it's kumar shel anovim. What is that to be kumar? Now we said that the anovim are already warm, already hot, already warm and ready, and only then you can sell them. Correct? The Tosis says why? According to Shmuel, yeah, l'choira, you can even sell it to them before the warm because it's all bidei odom. Answers Tosis says no. For them to warm up nicely is b'dei shamayim. The warm-up stage is called b'dei shamayim because I guess you put them in, you don't know if the chemical reaction of the heat is going to work or not. That's up to Hashem. What? No, they didn't heat it. They put it together. When you put something tight together, like to compost, there's chemical reaction, things become hot. Like people in the same room together. Yeah. That's why. Weiter. Okay, very nice. Says the Gemara weiter, matan shel zeisim. What's matan shel zeisim? Frag the Gemara v'amechusar. Again, same question. What's matan shel zeisim? We're talking here about olives. I come to you, Tishrei, and I say, excuse me, can you give me olive oil? Yeah, I'm giving you cash now for the price of olive oil of Tishrei. That is, I don't know, 10 shekels a bottle, very cheap. And in Teves, on Hanukkah, Shemen Zayis will be 30 shekels. And 10 shekels now, remember me, your good friend who lend you, who gave you money now, give me 30 shekel bottle in 3 months' time for the price of 10 shekels. Is that good or not? Well, if he already has the zeisim in the ma'atan shel zeisim is a kmichmar of anovim, the matan or ovit. The matan shel zeisim is also the place where the zeisim, the olives are all stuck together, they're all piled together, and they warm up each other. They're warming up to the process of olive press. Then you press them, you'll have oil. Because it's so close to having oil, it's considered as if you already have oil. Okay, that's what we say. 1 second, please. Brag the Gemara, this Gemara is almost identical to the one before. What? You're telling me that it's already almost there? No, that's not true. The mechuser, it's missing lots of stages. Michma. Those zeisim still have to. They were just now placed in that warm up place. They still have to warm up. I guess it takes a few days. I don't know. And then vayula the beidapi. Then you have to what? Take them to the beidapi. Take them to the olive press. The pim are basically planks of wood. They had like 3 of them or more. Yeah. Lemeidash. Then you actually need to press it to make it into oil. Velamingad. And then take the oil and move it. Yeah. Let it help it channel into the new place. That's 4 stages. And says the Gemara, al kumar shel zeisim. No, those zeisim are already hot. They're already warm. In 1 second, I can make oil out of them. Frag the Gemara, there are still 3 stages. Why? Taking it into the press, pressing them, and letting them flow into the new place, into the vat. Oh, so 3 stages. And says the Gemara, same thing. The Asra Daud Zabin, Au Mangid. We're talking the place that the one that buys it, he's the one who actually lets it flow, takes it, and channels it into the new pool of oil. So really missing two stages. Why? It's already hot. All you need to do is you as the seller, all you have to do, you're only two stages away. You have to take it to the wine press and press it. That's it. It's work, but it's only two stages, right? At the third stage of moving it to the new place as liquid, that's the price of the buyer. The buyer is not expecting me to do it. Yeah. Basically means that we're talking here about a person who wants to buy what? Clay. Very nice. He wants to buy a jug, jar, a vase of flowers, or a pot, pottery made out of clay. Used to be very, very common in the olden days. And again, it's the same story. Lo yotza shal, things are very cheap now, very volatile. There's no shal bichlal. And I'm telling you, cash now, deliver it a few months later, but remember the old price. What did we say? Ala beitzim shel yotza. The word beitza has two meanings. Let's now assume beitza is what we know is an egg. So the way they would actually craft clay, kalim, they would make the basic shape out of the mud, out of the raw material, the mud. They would take the basic shape like the beitza. Then they would style it up. They would decorate. They would design. They would make the whole bichlal. They would make it to the receptacle, and then put it in the oven, in the kiln, right? And then take it out. Very nice. So once the person has beitza sayoitzer, once the seller has very raw, rough, first a draft, so to speak, of the product, that's good enough. That's called the finished product. Correct the Gemara again. Amai, why is that? It's missing a heck of a lot of stages. The mechusa lepufi, it's still missing the shaping up. Lelapef, to shape it up. You still have to shape it. It's not shaped. Yeah, you have to make the hole. Very important. You have to make those handles, everything. Veyebushi needs to dry because now the mud, it's made out of mud. It still needs to dry. Ayuli latuna, bring it into the oven, into the furnace, into the kiln, and then lemisaf, you have to burn it there. It's not automatic. You have to set the fire. You have to make sure that it burns properly, not burning like that. It's being hardened the proper way. Ulemepak, then take it out. Oh, that's a lot of stages. How many stages? Let's see. Lepufi, to shape it. Yibushi, to let it dry. Ayuli latuna, put it in the oven. Lemisaf is another stage, to let it burn, to cook it there, so to speak. Well, lemepak, 5 stages. Oy, 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 oy. The lemepak, and what? Lemepak, that is to take it out of the oven. Can't leave it there forever. Answers the Gemara, kigon de melapefa v'yavishu. Enochanami, the beitza sayoitzer is already shaped. It has the shape of whatever you want. Of that, I don't know, half a meter by, 30 centimeters vase. It has the shape already. V'yabishu, and it's already dry. So 2 stages we're good with. 2 stages were done. Now Rashi is sort of silently asking the question, how do you call it beitza sayoitzer? It's not shaped like an egg anymore. Now it's shaped like a vase. It's shaped like a jug. Answers Rashi, what I told you a few days ago, it's not beitza, it's bitza. What's bitza in Hebrew? Marsh. Like the marsh, like in Miami, yeah? In other words, like a big puddle of what? Of mud. That's what's called beitza. Although it's shaped very nicely, elegantly, it's just mud. Before it's in the oven, it's mud. What's the difference between clay cheres and clay adoma? Nichas tuma v'tahara, clay cheres, they are terrible when it comes to tuma. You can never kasher them or metahar them. And clay adoma don't receive tuma. Why? What's the difference? They are not in the oven. Clay cheres are in the oven. So it's still called just a piece of mud. It's a very sophisticated piece of mud. It's called bitza sayoitzer. Okay? So 2 out. We already passed 2 stages, and it's okay. Frag the Gemara, 5 minus 2 is how much? Frag the Gemara, va'ikatlas. There are still 3 stages to go, right? What do you still have to do? Put it in the kiln, bake it there. Yeah, make sure that the fire process goes well, and then take it out. That's 1, 2, 3. And according to Rav, that's bad. And says the Gemara, be'asra deudezabinu demapik. We're talking about a place where if I sell you what? Any kind of kli cheres that's in the oven, it's your job as the buyer, the client, it's on the client to take it out of the kiln. Mimela, the only 2 stages away, right? We're talking again, very similar to the Zaysim and Anovim. It's something that's ready to be placed in what? The oven. And the one taking out of the oven is the client. So all I have to do as the seller, put it in the oven, burn it nicely, not burn, like cook it, form it nicely, and then that's all. That's all I need to do. 2 stages are on me, the rest are on you. And therefore, that's considered as 2 stages away. Baruch Hashem. Yeah. What's a seed? Seed is lime. And the lime is something that, how do you make lime? You take lime stones and you take all kinds of fuel, like pieces of wood and stuff, place it in the kivshan, in the furnace, and then they become very, very hot. You take them out and then you mix them with water and they crumble into, seed, into lime, like the lime powder. What did Mishnah say? The seed, the seed, the lime. Once you have the primitive lime stones and you place them in the kivshan, you place them in the furnace, you didn't yet turn on the fire. Yeah, it's there in the oven. Yeah, ready to be burnt, cooked in the furnace. Yeah, that's good enough. That's called the finished product. Excuse me. The mechusar mikla, first it needs to burn. It didn't yet burn into perfection. Vapuki, and you need to take it out of the oven of the furnace. Umeidak, and you also have to make it into a powder. It's 3 stages. Rav is unhappy, 3 stages away, right? So Mimela, why do you tell me according to Rav that's good enough? Answers the Gemara, the Asra, the Zabin, Ahu Dayek. No, again, we're talking about a place where the person who buys the lime, it's on him. He buys it in chunks, and it's on him to mix it with water and make it crumble. So the mice it's only 2 stages away. Once it's in the furnace, all I have to do as the customer service, as the seller, all I have to do is burn it there, make sure it burns nicely to the right to perfection, then take it out. Once it's out of the oven, it's on you, Mister. You the buyer. Mimel, it's only 2 stages away. Oh, good morning. Now Shmuel is being attacked. According to Shmuel, that says, Bide Odom afilu mea poisek. What did we say? According to Shmuel, if the stages that separate between where we are now and the desired product are only due to human intervention, then even 100 stages is okay. You're 100 stages away. You rely on yourself, but you rely on yourself to do everything, even 100 stages. If so, yeah. Why do you say that it has to be in the furnace in the first place? Even when it's very raw, before it's in the furnace, it should be good enough. Yeah, again, right? According to Shmuel, let's have pieces of lime which were not yet entered, that did not yet enter the furnace. It should be good enough. Why? I'll put it in the furnace. I'll burn it in the furnace. I'll take it out of the furnace, and life is good, right? So even 100 stages. Why do they have to be already in the furnace? And says the Gemara, no. Enochinami. According to Shmuel, the right version in the Mishnah is not that it is what? In the Kivshan. Once it's ready to be shakur in the Kivshan. Once it's real in nature. Yeah, once I already found the limestones in the forest, wherever, I don't know where they are, in the quarry, right? Then I have the limestones. That's all I need. Enochinami. According to Shmuel, 100 stages away is amazing, is good. Oh, it's a good question. Didn't occur to me. Nice. It's a nice question. You're asking good. Why is it that we have to speak about? Lamaisa, no, the Zaysim Banovim are very similar. Oh, Vala Beitzim Shel Yoitzel. So what did we say in the Mishnah? Now comes Machlokes Tanoim about Beitzim Shel Yoitzel. Meaning, what did we say? I'm asking you, Rabbi Yitzchok, can I buy from you your clay, your kli from clay, your clay kli? Can I buy a kli cheres from you? Oh, for sure. How much would it be now if I buy it from you? It'll be 100 shekels. Yeah, you made that up. There's no shar yet. You have it with you. You have a kli cheres. Okay, very nice. I have a kli cheres. And can I buy the kli cheres from you now? And you get the money now. You'll give it to me in 3 months' time. It will be worth 3 times the price. Big inflation in the market now. Yeah, of course. How come it's not ribis? Because I already have the klicheres. What do you mean having the klicheres? Having a beitza or bitza. All you have is a very primitive kli. What did we say before? That it's already being shaped, right? At the end of the day, we said it's shaped and dried, but it's not yet in the oven. You have to take it out of the. You have to burn it in the oven. That's called good enough, right? That's called having it. Now we're going to say machlokes tanoim regarding this. What everything that we said is true according to one opinion, which is our Mishnah. En poiskim al beitzim shel yotzer ad sheyasu divrei Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Meir says, as we said before, Rabbi Meir is like Stam Mishnah Rabbi Meir. Our Mishnah follows Rabbi Meir. The beitzas yotzer can only be poisek, meaning only fix the price. Oh, that's how we say poisek in English. You can fix the price for the current price, even though it will go up. Only if you have in your possession, you the seller, if you have a beitzah shel yotzer that's halfway there, it's been designed, right? It's been already what? Dried. Oh, all it's missing, says you to me, it just has to go into the oven and out the oven, or just, it's all fine. It's almost there. Good enough. Amar Rabbi Yossi. Now Rabbi Yossi is big time qualifying the words of Rabbi Meir and actually therefore arguing really on Rabbi Meir. But we know that is true, but offer lovon. Offer lovon, yeah, there's a difference between white dust, white dirt, and black one. The white material of the cheres was much more expensive and rare and dear and not very common, right? So offer lovon, yeah, is that when it's still in offer stage. What's the first stage of cheres? Dirt, sand, right? If it's white sand, then yeah, it's very rare to get it from another person. Yeah, it's rare commodity. Therefore, it's only considered as, let me explain to you something. Let me explain to you something which I didn't explain before. Oh, now it's time for me to explain to you another dimension over here. When I keep telling you these terms, it's almost there. It's just a technical issue. What's halachically behind it, Rabbi Isai? Mi shepora, which means, let me explain to you as follows. If I tell you, listen, you have something, what do you have common in your house? You have, I don't know, bag of milk, you have, things that people have in their houses, a carton of milk, you're American, whatever, yeah, you have a phone, things that everybody has. If I give you money now, right, although we didn't yet close the deal, I gave you money, I know you have it in your house, everybody has it in their houses, I have smichus das, I assume you'll really bring it to me, and if you say, no, Akiva, I'm regretting, that's mishapora. Why is it mishapora? There's no kinyan, but there's real belief, real trust. I trusted you. What's mishapora? You broke the trust. So let's say you tell me, Akiva, you know what? I'm going to America. There's some very crazy new product in certain towns in America, something interesting, expensive, and I give you money, yeah, when you go not to Australia, to buy me a kangaroo, to buy something that's not very common, then I don't really have smichus das. When something's very rare commodity, yeah, even when I gave you the money, I wasn't so 1,000,000% sure it's going to happen. That's the idea, right? Or even if it's very far away from me, I don't really have smichus das. I only have smichus das and mishapora when we're almost there. Either it's something not rare or something that's really about to happen. It's just a matter of putting it in the oven, that's all. Oh, a cake. Seriously now. You have a lady who bakes cakes in Chalas. Tomorrow it's Friday, Rabbi Sai. You tell a lady, I'm giving you money, and you see that she already has the dough. All she has to do is add some sugar, it's in the oven. It's so close, you have smichus das, and so does she. And therefore, that's called mishapara if you break it. And that allows us to call it yeshloi. Get the picture now? With that in mind, we'll understand the next Gemara Be'ezras Hashem. Comes Rabbi Yossi and says, offer lovon. Offer lovon in something very rare. You can't just borrow it from a neighbor. No, yeah? Do you have, I don't know, a crystal vase worth 10,000 shekels? And if not, you just borrow from a neighbor? No. Offer lovon is rare. So in order to create smichus das, it has to be already in the stage of what? Almost in the oven. Shaped nicely. Aval be'offer shocho. Let's say you talk about cheap kind of work material. In those places, the black regular offer was very common. Yeah. Then poiskin, then you're allowed to poiskin according to Rashi in one opinion in Toises, even if it's still dust. Wow. Even if it's still dust, that's all you have. You have the very, very primal work material in your workshop, but it's something very, very commonly used I can already now paskin on that. I can already fix the price on that. Why? Afal pishen lezeh, yesh lezeh. Yeah. That's the reason. In other words, remember what we said? There's another form of yesh loy or a form of yotza ashar. Let's say you don't have the product. I want to buy bread from one shop and I give him money now. Fancy bread will become more expensive later. Yeah. And all other shops in the area have bread. Bread is very common. Am I allowed to do that? Yes. Even though he doesn't have it, his neighbor has it. So by offer shachor, it's so common that everyone has it. It means that if I see that you don't have, you have the black offer in your store, and you tell me, Akiva, no problem. I take that offer, mix it with water, shape it up. I do it with my eyes closed. If the black offer is something that you have in your store, then it's okay. Why? It's okay, even though it's a few stages away. It's good enough. Why? Because even if you're not going to make it, going to lose it, going to spend it, spill it down the toilet, it's very easily what? Borrowable from a neighbor. Everyone has it. That's a new chiddush. It's a new form of yeshloi according to Tosfos. It's not yotza shar. Yeah, it's another form of yeshloi. When something is very, very common in the market, even though Reuven doesn't have it, and Reuven is the one doing it to me, but Shimon and Levi have it, and it's very commonly borrowed from one neighbor to the other, Mimela, even though it's a few stages away, it's good enough. Don't talk to me now about Rav Shmuel. I'm talking now to Noim. Now, Zog the Gemara, okay, very nice. A chiddush, something that's a very, very common commodity, even though it's a very early stage, no problem. You don't have it. I'm so mechdas. Remember what I told you before? My mind is at rest. I know you're a professional clay maker. How do you call it in English? No, you a potter from England. A potter. Yeah, a potter. So the potter, even if he doesn't have, even something happens to him in the middle of the process of making, he'll borrow from the neighbor. I'm so mechdas. Therefore, it's not ribis. Zog the Gemara story. Not a story on Hogo. Ameimar Yohiv Zuzi Mechi Me'ayli Ofra. Ameimar, yeah, he would give the Zuzim once the what's his name? Once the seller, the potter, yeah, would actually have the offer, the black offer there in front of Ameimar's eyes. And Ameimar wants to buy what? A clay dish, yeah. Once he has it in his house, then he would give the money. Then he would consider it as yesh loy. Come on, who are you following exactly? According to Rabbi Meir, no. Rabbi Meir doesn't believe in all that. Rabbi Meir says no. Rabbi Meir is conservative. He says, when it's considered yesh loy, when the person has what? A clay dish that is dry and is about to get into the oven. Before that, no way. I don't care. Black, white, red, or crimson. Doesn't make a difference. So according to Rabbi Meir, what you did is wrong, is ribis. Ike Rabbi Yosi, you want to follow Rabbi Yosi, which we just mentioned? According to Rabbi Yosi, that says, beautiful. According to Rabbi Yosi, you don't even need to get to that stage. Why are you telling me if I have black mud, and even if something happens, why? If you rely on the neighbor, because everybody has black mud. It's like today having in your house, I don't know, anything, a phone. Yeah, everyone has that. Yeah. So Mimela, you don't need to get to that stage. Yeah. I know that if I talk to Yitzchok, the clay maker, the potter, you don't have the black dirt, but every neighbor in the neighborhood does. That's good enough. Who told you to get to that funny stage of having the mud, offer? Either you don't need it at all, or it doesn't help, according to a mayor. Answers the Gemara, Loilom ke Rabbi Yosi. Really, it's according to Rabbi Yosi. We follow Rabbi Yosi that said that really, it's not that you have to have the entire thing. Yeah, it's enough to have what I would say nothing. However, in a Meimer's place, Ashik Afra. In a Meimer's place, the offer was expensive. Oh, it was expensive. The regular black offer was expensive and a rather rare commodity. And therefore, if you already brought the offer into the store and you see black mud in front of you or black dust in front of you, samchadaite, what did I tell you? Samchadaite v'ayv there's mishapora. Only because it's not something every neighbor has. No, it's something quite rare. If I don't see in front of my eyes that you have that black dust in front of me, then I'm not so mechdas. Only when I see in front of me. You really got the offer? You got the working material? Oh, like the kablan. You close with the kablan. When you see the actual materials coming to your house, you begin to trust it, maybe. Yeah. Hopefully. You see that something is happening in the store and that rare commodity is already there. Giving the money is smichus das. And therefore, there's no ribis because there is already mishapora. Because by them it's rare. Even according to Rabbi Yossi, if I don't see that black dust because it's something strange, something that is not so common, it's not samich das. He's not relying on anything really happening, even in Rabbi Yossi's terms. Thank you very much. It's Locho Abba. I'm still trying maybe to find a substitute for next week. I'm not sure. If I don't find a substitute, what I'll probably do, hopefully, is record a few shiurim next week, maybe 2 or 3, yeah, and send them to you. Okay, send them to you. So, and then still probably repeat it. Hashem Yazo, I'm going away on Shabbos. That's Hashem. So there will not be regular shiurim in the YouTube and Torah anytime. Amen. Thank you very, very much. I'll send your regards to the rock and its inhabitants. Thank you, Shabbos, for a week and 2 days. I'll be back Lag Bomer, Mitzvah Hashem. Lag for the get straight into the Medura, into the